Good morning, YouTube. Very nice to see you this morning. I hope that this morning finds you all well. I have a real busy day today. I've got my indoor garden going pretty good. I have my zucchini, my cantaloupe, and my sweet basil has finally come up. And my strawberries are producing strawberries, and my tomato plants are producing tomato plants. Now, I grow all these plants in my house, so I have crops all year round. And then, of course, when spring comes and the weather is good for me to plant a lot of these outside, I do. I go plant them out there in my garden and keep the fingers crossed. After years of growing things in Texas, what a challenge that was. This one has turned out to be a totally different type of challenge. Here, I have shallow soil before I hit bedrock. I have a forest, which in some cases provides a little too much shade. And at my age, trying to cut down trees, which I do, by the way. I have my own chainsaw, my husband has his, and we will go out, clear down a few trees, and getting the stumps out is so terrible. But once we get them out, I've got all this great space that I can use for my gardens. And this is going to take me years to put together. My husband is still working, and I'm on here a lot these days because I'm trying to earn some money to fix my teeth. I haven't lost my teeth because of drug use. I stayed away from those things. I was pretty smart as a young woman, but I would like to get them fixed. I haven't chewed up a real meal in 3 years. In the last 5 years, I lost both my parents, my aunt, my uncle, whom I was close to. I lost both my sisters. My husband lost his mother, his brother, and his half-sister. He has gone through a lot. We both have. And after 30 years, we understand when it's time, to let each other have a little space to deal with the emotional traumas of life that can come your way. And as you get older, those traumas, well, they come with excessive loss because everybody else, if you're older, is older than you. And, their lives are not as, lifespans are not as long anymore. So you end up losing them. But in the last 5 years, between my husband and myself, we've lost about 13 people in 5 years. It's not been easy. I'm in recovery mode from a massive mental breakdown because while all that was happening, I was trying to handle a life in Texas and a life here with my mother in Arkansas because she needed full-time care. And that meant having to leave my family to come here and take care of her. And I don't regret a moment. I missed my family, don't get me wrong. I'm very close with my family. We argue and fight like normal families, but we're very close. And it's not easy. But it was well worth it to have an opportunity to be with my mother in a way that I had never been before For the first time, I had her all to myself. And believe me, I enjoyed every moment of it, even the hard times. Even when taking care of her was challenging my own health. And I'd do it all again in a heartbeat. If I could get that time with her again, absolutely. Come from a broken home, and I'm the oldest girl. So I became independent pretty early on in life, and parents were not as protective of their children back then. You learned from trial and error, and if you're smart enough and fast enough, you could get away from bad people, which I was, thankfully. But today is a totally different story. So, today I've got a lot going on. I got my indoor garden. I've got to get it cleaned up. My cat goes in there. She really loves it. Lady Pearl is her name. She was all of the cats here were my mother's cats, and I inherited them and love them all, and take care of them like she would have while she was here. But my cat likes to go, she's my only indoor cat, and she likes to go into what I call my garden room. And I don't blame her. It's nice and warm. It's getting cold outside. She's an old cat, arthritis, And, oh, there she goes. Miss Sweet Pearl, I don't know if you, there she goes. She's not black, by the way. She's charcoal gray. And a mean cat. She was never even a nice cat as a kitten. She was, my mother saved her because she was a kitten whose mama had gotten killed on a construction site, and so did the other kittens. But this one kitten survived, and the construction worker brought him to my mother and asked her if she could care for the kitten. And of course, my mother, the kind-hearted woman that she is, especially towards animals, she, of course, said yes, put this wonderful little kitten in her purse, wrapped up in a napkin, and would carry her around every day, take her to work with her, and feed her little drops of milk, and cuddle her and care for her, until she started to get big enough where she wanted to run around and play. So that's how Pearl came to be with our family. And she is very much part of our family, and lets you know her likes and dislikes. Promise you. The garden's doing good. My zucchini came up. One of my cantaloupe came up. Some of my sweet basil has come up. My strawberries are producing beautiful little strawberries. My tomato plants are starting to flower. And these are all plants I'm growing in my house. And yes, it is hard on us because our electric bill is up there, of course. But that just means I don't run a lot of other stuff in the house. If I don't need it on, I don't turn it on. But I started this page so that I could try to reconnect with the world. It is a place that I have not found to be a kind place or a good place. And I want to make sure that my misgivings, the way I see the world, is accurate. And the only way I can do that is to go back out into the world. And believe me, that's scary at 59 years old, to go back out into a world. I've been a mom for 40 years, and I focused on my family. I had severe health issues from a young age, so that meant working traditional jobs was difficult, to say the least. I did run my own business for a while until I had a massive heart attack and a stroke. The recovery was long and hard, but I made it. I guess I'm sharing this so that people know who I am. The idea of leaving this world without anybody knowing I ever existed, other than the people that are close to me, just seems wrong. I was not a socialite ever, and I was not popular in school. I wasn't a bully. However, I was a fighter. And when I saw kids who were bullied, well, let's just say I spent a lot of time in suspension, in and out of school because of it. When I'd see kids bullying, I would confront those kids, and of course, those kids think they're badasses, so I had to show them they weren't. And only one time did I ever fail, and it was because it was a girl who was my friend, and I really liked her, cared a lot about her, and I didn't want to have to fight with her. But what she was doing was wrong. Now, she was at the age, same age as me, in Chicago, during recruitment ages in grade school, because when I was going to school, we went from kindergarten to high school, all in one school. Of course, I didn't make it all the way through. But I had to find my own path, and I made my own way. I made some bad choices, and I made some really good choices. I've been married 3 times, and my first marriage was, I think, about 4 years before I got a divorce. I got together with him when I was 17, married at 18, divorced by 21. So yeah. And my second husband, I was still in my 20s when, well, I knew him from the past, and we ran into each other and really hit it off. And I have 2 children with him that are now grown adults. So, yeah, there's a lot of history there. Maybe too much for this page. I don't know, to be honest. So, anyway, I just wanted to try my hand at coming on YouTube and being myself for a change. Not coming on and being a character from TikTok, using filters, and that's kind of like a plaything. It's a good stress reliever, I'm telling you. If, like me, you have a lot of issues in your heart and your mind, TikTok is a good way to give yourself some therapy. You can go and express yourself through characters, and you're not hurting anybody. And of course, there's always, the bad people on there who are going to come on and say something mean. Say something nice back and leave it at that. Because let me tell you something, if someone says something mean to you that doesn't know you, they're a bully, and they are just looking for somebody to argue with, somebody they can beat down. Now, it was that very thing that caused me to lose the last of my sisters. She went and was really doing wonderful. She had gotten a job after, 10, 15 years of not working. She was finding some independence, and she was refining herself. Well, in that, we get a little bit of a power struggle with ourselves. I guess you call it big head syndrome, and that's kind of what happened with her. Because I did not have a regular job, she began treating me as what I did here at home had no value, even though I was the one paying all the bills, not her. So, as her head grew bigger, and she got upset with me about having to put in some of her earnings to help us pay bills, things started to get a rift between us, and I could feel it, and I know she did. And she took the bullying too far one day. My husband told me, if you don't talk to her, I'm gonna. And I'm not gonna give her a choice. She's gonna be out. Nobody barks orders at me. And Angel, for the first time in 2 years, I have seen you run and jump to go do something for someone who is being an ass to you so that you could keep the peace in the house. Well, after that reality hit me, that I had been backtracking into my old behavior of becoming submissive to please others. And, of course, her bullying got worse. And my husband finally said, Angel, you talk to her, or I'm going to just put her shit out and tell her to come get it. I'm not going to talk to her. Well, her and I, of course, had a huge argument. Got way out of control on both sides. Not just mine, on both sides. She tried to use her mental illness as an excuse for her behavior, which I don't accept, because I have the same mental illness, and yet I don't bully people. I don't treat people as if they are less than me, and I never, ever try to make anyone feel as if they're not even worthy of the life they're living. I began to feel like she was just waiting for me to drop dead so she could take over my house and do whatever. I don't know. I do know that I had a mental breakdown to lose so many people, and all that was finally over and dealt with, and I had moved into my mother's home, sold our house in Texas, left my children, relocated me and my husband, and it took almost a year to get it all moved because we had over 30 years of life worth of stuff, and I got rid of so much. I also used to run a store, just a little secondhand shop, and it helped supplement the income. But my husband worked all the time, so life was very lonely, and I could not allow myself to slide backwards to where I was when I had worked so hard to build up my own strength and hold my own strength. And of course I buckled under all the stress, and then add on the bullying, and my heart was already failing. So now here I am bringing myself out to you because I really don't know what to do with myself now. I've got all my gardening, and I have my home, which I love caring for. I wanted to be a homesteader when I first inherited the property, but I have like 60 trees I got to take out because they're way too close to the house. And these trees are 40 foot tall, some are even taller. You know, my husband and I together have taken down quite a few, but we still have so many that we have very little land available for growing crops or even putting in chickens or anything like that. And I don't have any help. I love to watch the show, The Rainies. I love them, Homestead Rescue. But I know for me, there's no kind of help like that. So, I am going to have to reach out to y'all. I can't physically do it anymore. That means I got to raise the money to do it. And after taking care of everyone financially that needed my help, including my sister, my brother. And no one has ever bothered to pay me back, but I never told them they had to, and I've never asked for it back. They needed it at the time, and I had it, so I gave it. And I won't ever ask for it back, and I won't ask for the help. Because most of those people that I helped, they don't have anything to do with me anymore. Because, well, they got what they wanted, and when the money was gone, they didn't want anything to do with me anymore. So, that's that history. But I'm trying to raise some money. I have major health issues that have to be taken care of. Besides my heart. As you can tell, I need to replace my teeth. I have it bound down so you can't see it very well. But I have a double hernia. See, this is actually my waistline. These are my hernias. Gosh, I never show anybody those. I'm too embarrassed. And when I sit down, oh, you don't know how embarrassing it is. When I put on makeup and do my hair and we go out, you know, most of those places are dimly lit, so I don't look quite as old as I am. And my husband ordered a drink for me while I was at the bathroom, and ordered a drink for himself, of course. And our waitress happened to come in the bathroom while I was using the restroom. And, oh, she said, "How far along are you? You know you shouldn't be drinking when you're pregnant." I couldn't help but laugh. And I told her, "Honey, I'm not pregnant. These are hernias. Hernias from having babies. Hernias from too much heavy lifting. I've never done any easy labor job, ever. Don't even know what they're like." But she was so embarrassed. She felt so bad that she bought us the next 2 rounds of drinks. But I thought she was sweet, someone who actually cared about an unborn child she thought I was carrying. And most people won't say anything. They'll just talk behind your back. "Oh my God, look at that woman, she's drinking and she's pregnant." Now, I've had that happen many, many times. In fact, so many that I stopped going out with my husband to play pool or do any of those activities. I don't want him embarrassed anymore. But when I had the money to get them fixed, I didn't have insurance. But even though I had the money to fix them, I couldn't even get a doctor's appointment. It was just ridiculous because I had no insurance. Even though I had the money to pay for surgeries, tests, hospital stays, everything. It wasn't, they wouldn't touch me, wouldn't help me. So now, here I am. And I'm trying to come up with some money so I can afford insurance and pay for insurance. My husband works about 16-hour days, 4 days a week, sometimes more hours to cover our bills, which have gotten much smaller. I worked real hard to, bring them down. And the rest I had to consolidate. And we're making the payments to pay off. So we're on the right path. We're just not there yet. And if I don't get something going soon, we're not going to get there before I die, and my husband's going to be stuck with a whole bunch of debt. I couldn't stand the thought of that. And I don't want him going after my children. like they did me after my mother passed. So, yeah. Anyway, welcome to Angel Reader, and I don't know what else to say because I don't get to talk to people that often. I spend a lot of time in silence, maybe mumbling or talking to myself a little bit, but I stay busy, and I try to keep my mind occupied. But if anybody out there has any ideas about how I can improve my channel so that I can reach more viewers and subscribers, I've almost made it to 30,000 views, and that is a lot of work, guys. I don't know how you creators do all this by yourselves. Well, you don't. From what I understand, you have a lot of helpers. I don't have. So this is totally raw, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you have a great day, and I enjoyed talking with you. I really did. And please, like, share, comment, and please subscribe. You know how the algorithms are on YouTube if you're a regular. So, help a friend out is a good thing to do these days. Not enough people helping each other out. And it's just a little click that can help a great deal. So, have a good day. I love you all. I am off to clean the kitchen, clean off my counters, and begin baking bread. I got floors to sweep and mop, and oh. Anyway, have a good day, y'all. I love you, YouTube, and YouTube fans and followers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will get the hang of this. Just try to have a little patience with me. Bye. Until later.